Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Mahashivratri coincides with the International Women's Day, ladies and gentlemen. And on Women's Day, the Modi government has slashed the LPG cylinder prices by 100 rupees. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that reduction in domestic LPG will significantly ease the financial burden on millions of households across the country, especially benefiting Nari Shakti. Prime Minister Modi presented the National Creators Award. Meanwhile, the award encompasses 20 categories and aims to honor excellence and influence across various fields such as storytelling, environmental sustainability, education and gaming. PM Modi, while lauding the content creators, said that you've not only introduced the world to your capabilities but have also shown them the world, acknowledging the importance and the impact of content. PM called the creators as MVPs, most valuable persons of the internet. Meanwhile, President Draupadi Murmu has nominated author and philanthropist Sudha Murthy to the Rajya Sabha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded Sudha Murthy's contributions, calling them inspiring. He added that her presence in the Rajya Sabha is a powerful testament to Nari Shakti. Sudha Murthy also thanking the government for this announcement, and that too on International Women's Day. Meanwhile, the government's Fund of Funds scheme for startups has committed 10,229 crore rupees to 129 alternative investment funds as of December 2024 and resulted in the funding of 18 unicorns across the country. But ladies and gentlemen, as we set up today's topic of discussion is a single point of discussion. It moves beyond all the Vikas and the initiatives to perhaps further the growth story of a Viksit Bharat. It then now borders and then hinges on the Vishwas aspect, ladies and gentlemen, because the way various corners of the Indie bloc or the INDI alliance has come out to bash Sanatan, Hindutva and of course Hindu deities and Astha, the question is, why is this being done? Is there a deliberate design to it? And is Sanatan bashing going to set the tone for these coming elections? Are Lok Sabha 2024 not just about who's got the better Vikas narrative, but also about Vishwas in Sanatan and of course Sanatan bashing?
சிலவற்றை நாம் ஒழிக்கத்தான் வேண்டும், எதிர்க்க முடியாது. கொசு, டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்கக்கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும். அப்படிதான் இந்த சனாதனம்.
हिंदू धर्म नहीं है बल्कि एक धोखा है. இப்ப HIV இருந்தது. எங்களை பொறுத்தவரை HIV தொழுநோயை போல HIV போல சமூக அவலம் நிறைந்த ஒரு நோயாகத்தான் நாம் பார்க்கிறோம். ஒன்று. இன்னொன்னு சனாதன தர்மத்தை கடைபிடிங்கன்னு பிரதமர் சொல்றாரு. राम आपला आहे बहुजनांचा आहे राम. शिकार करून खाणारा राम तो आमचा आमच्या बहुजनांचा. तुम्ही जिथे आम्हाला सगळे शाकाहारी बनवायला जातात की आम्ही रामाचा आदर्श पाळतो आणि आम्ही आज मटण खातो.
I have very clearly stated that any religion that does not preach equality, that does not ensure the dignity of a human being is embedded in that philosophy, it is not a religion according to me.
दूसरे युग में रामचरितमानस और तीसरे युग में गुरु गोवलकर का बंच ऑफ थॉट, ये दुनिया को हमारे देश को, समाज को नफरत में बांटती है.
இந்தியா என்பது ஒரு சனாதன கொள்கைக்கு எதிர்ப்பாக உருவாக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிற கூட்டணி தான் இந்தியா. இதற்கு கருத்து வேறுபாடுகள் இருக்கலாம், ஆனால் இந்த சனாதனத்தை எதிர்க்க வேண்டும் என்பதிலே யாருக்கும் எந்த வேறுபட்ட கருத்தும் இல்லை.
অপবিত্র রাম মন্দিরেতে ভারতবর্ষের কোন হিন্দু যেন পূজা দিতে না যায়, ওটা একটা শপিস তৈরি হয়েছে, ওটা শুধু একটা শপিস তৈরি হয়েছে.
Is the opposition really anti-Sanatan, anti-Hindu, going after Hindu deities and Hindu Astha, or is there a deliberate plot to this, ladies and gentlemen? Is there a strategy? In the run-up to the Lok Sabha polls, this debate is only getting more fierce. On Thursday, the Madras High Court came down heavily on Tamil Nadu Minister Udaynidhi Stalin for his controversial remarks on Sanatana Dharma. The High Court said that the remarks on Sanatana Dharma are perverse, divisive and against the constitutional mandate. But it is not just the DMK from the INDI bloc that's insulting Sanatana Dharma. Several opposition leaders are echoing similar sentiments. Now, be it former Samajwadi Party leader Swami Prasad Maurya, who said Hindu religion is nothing but a dhoka, RJD MLA Chandrasekhar, who said Ramcharitmanas spreads hatred, NCP Jitendra Awad calling Lord Ram a non-vegetarian, the BJP calling this entire bloc as anti-Hindu and saying the attack on Sanatana Dharma is only increasing as the polls come near. Will Sanatana Dharma be the flashpoint of 2024 polls? Will Sanatana Dharma set the narrative for Lok Sabha elections already, and especially in those regions where the BJP is trying to make inroads and there is fierce resistance from the regional satraps? Let's try and dive into this in detail. This is a single point discussion on this Friday edition of The Right Stand. Joining us this evening, Dushyant Sridharji, Vedic scholar, Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst who oftentimes questions the BJP. Sumant C. Raman, again political analyst and commentator, joining us from Chennai. Ajay Alok, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Neeraj Atri, author. Namaste, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat to everybody. Thank you very, very much, and pleasure to see you all. And let's hope we have a very, very constructive, civilized debate and discussion with a very, very august panel. And it's only one single debate, so everybody will get their talk time. And let's hope we have arguments and the counter and not one speaking over the other. It's my humble request. Let me start with you, Dushyant Sridharji. How would you see this? Is this being done deliberately? Is it because of an inherent hatred towards the Sanatan Hindu way of life and Hindu deities? Or is it to try and create a counter polarization and consolidate votes of those who these politicians believe will consolidate if Hindutva is bashed?
Namaskaram, Anand. Namaskaram to all my fellow panelists. Very quick points. I am not a political analyst, so I would not be able to tell whether it is done only for political purposes, because it is well known, even some of the ministers and people from the first family of the Dravidian party of Tamil Nadu are extremely devout and visit temple after temple. So I don't know if they're doing it purposefully or they have a different intent. But Anand, this vilification of the religion, burning of the books, abusing the devatas of Sanatana Dharma has been in the last 50-60 years in the state of Tamil Nadu. This is not something new to the people of Tamil Nadu, just that the media channels are taking notice of it. One. And point number two, these politicians have, I don't know if I can use the word, it's like a toolkit. So first they would say that Sanatana Dharma and Hinduism, they have to first arrive whether both are one and the same. To me, Sanatana Dharma is Hinduism. I have a plethora of evidences to state. But first they will confuse the commoner, stating that Sanatana Dharma and Hinduism are different. Now if you ask them what they are, then they will say that the word Hindu or Hinduism never existed. Then if you go to the point of Sanatana Dharma, they will say that it is all about Brahminical patriarchy, it is all about Brahmanism. Then if you ask them, okay, you talk about Brahmanism, then they'll support the person who says, I'm a Janedhari Brahmin. And then finally they'll end up burning books. So in Nyaya Shastram, in simple logical reasoning of Sanatana, in Hinduism that we believe in Sanatana Dharma, they are logically untenable, the statements are. And there is also a mistake with respect to the commoners. See, I'm attached to no political party. I may have a leaning, but I'm not attached to a party. But I can say with full confidence, Anand, that we voters also are at mistake. Because we believe that the civilizational ethos and the belief that a party has in the civilization doesn't matter to the voter. So we believe that as voters have to just be concerned about the water, the electricity connection and all of that. No, it is also about whether you respect the religion of this land. And because of this attitude in a section of the voters, these political parties take the sentiments of the Hindus at large for granted. And finally, one point, Anand, because there are other panelists waiting. Yes, there are certain religions, in their holy text itself, they have plethora of lines stating that this is blasphemy and that is blasphemy. Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism largely gives space for criticism and critiquing, but not for such dirty third-rate abuses. So I feel as the ruling dispensation, the central dispensation should come up with a law that states that these are the things that will be, I'm not saying everything is blasphemy, but going to the extent of, abusing Rama, putting a chappal mala on Rama, what is all this? So I feel certain things should be enforced well, and there should be punishment for it. This cannot be taken for granted.
This cannot be taken for granted. Sumant Raman, agree, disagree?
First of all, should any religion be insulted? Absolutely not. Should gods of any faith be demeaned? Absolutely not. I don't think that there is any, there can be any two opinions on this. Religion is a personal thing, and one should respect all faiths. Now, having said that, you were asking the question at the beginning of the show, Anand, as to whether this will have political impact. Now, it will have a political impact in the areas where the BJP is probably already maxing out, which is in the Hindi heartland and the Hindi belt. In the southern part of the country, barring a few pockets, maybe in coastal Karnataka and a few other places, I can't see this issue actually having a major impact. Here, it is about unemployment, it is about price rise, it is about the need to ensure that the youths have hopes for the future and so on. So I think the bread and butter issues are far more dominant in the southern part of the country than they happen to be in the Hindi belt. And I'm sure that this I believe did have some impact, because the BJP effectively campaigned, including the Prime Minister, campaigned on this issue in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and so on. And we all know what the results of those state elections were. So in those areas, yes, I do believe that the remaining impact would be seen, but across the country would it be seen? I don't think so. So I think that also the very fact that we are going on and on and on with this without focusing on adequately on the bread and butter issues, which we don't want to actually take up for discussion for whatever reason, means that this issue beyond a point, yes, people do not want Sanatana Dharma to be insulted. They do want it to be respected. But 24/7 by 365, going on and on and on about it, there will be a saturation point beyond which people will say, can we talk about...
September 2023, Udaynidhi Stalin was the one who spoke on a platform that was erected to take on Sanatana Dharma, eradicate... No, I didn't interrupt you. Now hear me out. Yeah. Was the BJP the one that could put that platform up? No. Stalin's birthday, who goes out and says Ram and idiots, etc., and then attacks the concept of a nation? It is Andimuttu Raja of the BJP, of the DMK. Was it Andimuttu Raja of the BJP, sir, who did it? Is it the BJP that came out and said it? Who is it that turned around and said that this is how we need to speak about in Bihar? If the former education minister of Bihar, was it a BJP person who told Swami Prasad Maurya to say what he did about Ram and Ramcharitmanas? Across the board, if you believe that the agenda has got to be Vikas, development, issues of people and not about religion, who is it then who's making these statements and saying we need to eradicate it like dengue, malaria and HIV and equate it with Anand. HIV? Is it the BJP which is doing it? Then if it is for the DMK, then why is the DMK doing what it is doing?
The DMK has been doing what it has been doing, which is exactly the same thing only for the last 50-60 years. You are from Tamil Nadu, you know very well what the DMK has been doing since the 1950s and 60s, right? So you are well aware of it. Now it is convenient to take this up, and of course, are they right? No, absolutely not. Should they be condemned for it? I agree 100%. They should be strongly condemned for it, and any sane person should disassociate themselves from those remarks, which I do believe that the Congress party has not done enough of. So, in fact, Mr. Rahul Gandhi should have categorically come out and said, look, we don't agree with this, which has not happened. So I do blame the India Alliance for not distancing themselves.
Now, is there a reason why they are continuing to do it from the 50s, and even in 2024 they enjoy the mandate as far as overwhelming mandate in the Vidhana Sabha? Ajay Alokji, how would you read this? Is this a ploy to counter consolidate? Is this a ploy to say no matter how much we bash Hindutva, Hindu Astha, the Hindus, a certain percentage of Hindus will still come out and vote for us, so let's not bother about that. Those who are not going to vote for us, let's not bother about them. Let's try and see who's going to be affected because I'm taking a position like this, so that we can get their votes at least. Is that the ploy?
Anand, you are quite getting to the pattern. This is the pattern of Gamandia. They want to consolidate this 20% and break up the 80%. And they are pretty sure that this 80% something will break up and we'll make our game. They have been in habit of doing it. And see this, they fail to understand that the whole Hindu sentiment, the sentiment of Hindutva Sanatan, what I'm saying, has risen all across India. It's not only in the so-called cow belt, what they used to say when they pass a satire. It's also in the South India. Don't forget that Tamil Nadu has a maximum number of temples. BJP is constantly improving in every southern state. And the whole Hindu sentiments is awakening. Thanks to our social media, thanks to the media network, each and everything, and thanks to the leader like Narendra Modi. People are being enlightened when they think that they are Hindu and they are now getting their rights done. With the rise of Ayodhya, with all the legal battles going on in Mathura, Kashi, the whole sentiments of Hindu, when it's being enlightened, this has caused a tectonic shift in the Indian politics which they are not understanding, which they have failed to understand. And this whole Indi Gathbandhan, Ghamandiya Gathbandhan, what we say, this was formed only just to stop the splitting of Muslim votes. But again they are mistaken, because I'm telling you, with the kind of policy we had for the last 10 years, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas, I'm telling you more than 30% of Muslim voters are going to vote for BJP this time. This kind of divisive politics they are playing intentionally, and they are insulting Hindu deities and Hindu gods. Today is Mahashivratri. Har Har Mahadev to everyone. But today also, in few parts of the country, the processions were attacked. The Shiv Bharat was attacked. This is all being done intentionally, and they think this is going to consolidate a certain section of voters for them. They will not split. And in the meantime, Hindu will split in the names of what he very proudly said, that DMK has been doing this for the last 50-60 years. Then my friend also said one thing, that is a bread and butter issue in southern states. Well, as I know, and we all know, southern states are one of the most richest states in the state in India. In fact, recently Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka, DMK, Congress and left government, they said that we pay maximum revenue and we get the least share, so let's divide India. The concept of New India was given, that let India be divided on the lines of the northern state and southern state. And all these three parties are together. Why? For the lust of power, because you can't come to power. They are ready to divide the country. Issue is not for the heck of power. They are looping to everything, even for and demeaning Ram, demeaning Hinduism, demeaning Sanatans, calling names to Sanatan. They think that they are doing their job very properly, and they will get their lessons when the results are out in May.
But the fact of the matter is that the BJP is nowhere in Tamil Nadu, nowhere in Kerala, nowhere in Andhra and nowhere in Telangana. This is a concentration, this is a place which has a maximum concentration of temples per square kilometer compared to many other parts of the country in these states. And yet the BJP finds nothing there, no footprint there. So then who's guarding Hindutva, and how is Hindutva guarding itself? Because BJP is not there at all. So how is Hindutva thriving if these parties have have been so anti-Sanatan Dharma, have been so anti-Hindutva and Hinduism? If that's the case, Ajay Alok, there is something somewhere which is not adding up.
I'm not saying that Hindu, who is guarding Hindu. BJP is no guard for Hindu. Hindu is a guard within themselves. We have lived under Mughal, we have lived under British, we have seen conversions. In fact, 99% of the Indian Muslims are converted, but still the Hindu retains the majority. Still we are 80-81%. Hindu does not need any guard. They are capable themselves. Now what I am saying, and BJP, don't forget, after independence, BJP lived without power for 41 years. It took us 41 years to come to a single state, Gujarat, in 1992. And since 1992, we have been spreading. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes to build an organization, to spread our views. And that's what I'm telling you. The rise of Hindu sentiments in the last 10 years, the idea of being Hindu, the idea of self-esteem and self-elation of being a Hindu has risen in the last 10 years, and this has caused that tectonic shift in the Indian politics.
Okay. Now
And if we were not there in South, we were in Karnataka 27 seats. We were in Telangana 4 seats.
Yeah,
we did in terms of vote percentage. We did good in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and this time we are going to come up with better vote percentage.
At one point
and
in time in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, you were 18% vote share. You have come down to 1% in Andhra Pradesh today. Today's Andhra Pradesh, you are less than 1%. So that also needs some introspection as to under whose leadership that happened. That from 18% you went down to 1%, and what is being done about those leaders. That's an introspection that the BJP as a party itself needs to do. But coming to you, Tehseen Poonawalla, when the opposition feels that going after Hinduism or Hindutva or Sanatan Dharma is going to help them consolidate the anti-Hindu votes, is that not an outright insult to majority of the non-Hindus in this country, saying that they harbor an anti-Hindu sentiment and that's why they will vote for you? Is that not an insult? Are you trying to say that majority of the Muslims, majority of the Christians or majority of the non-Hindus have an inherent hatred towards Hindus? You're on mute, Tehseen. Please unmute yourself.
Namaskar, Anand.
Yeah,
At the onset, a very
please.
happy Mahashivratri to you, to all my fellow panelists, and to all your viewers. May Lord Shiva bless all of us. There are two issues, and I broadly agree with what Dr. Suman C. Raman said, but let me just expose the hypocrisy of the BJP one by one. Your question primarily to me is the opposition, including the India Alliance, insulting the Hindu faith for consolidation of either the Muslim votes or other considerations? The answer to that is no. I agree with what Dr. Raman said. It's stupid. It's bigoted. To an extent, it should be prosecuted. And I do believe very firmly that Mr. Stalin's son should be prosecuted, because that's not freedom of speech. That's hate speech. And I'm against that. But the BJP to give lectures, the BJP is the most hypocritical party in the universe. The BJP just day before yesterday, and Anand, you cover Uttar Pradesh very closely, swore in a man called O.P. Rajbar. What all did he say about Lord Ram and the war? And let's stick to Tamil Nadu. What Karunanidhi ji said about Lord Ram, Lord Lakshman, Lord Sita, Ma Sita, those cartoons. Prime Minister Vajpayee flew down to Chennai. Anand, mark my words. Prime Minister Vajpayee flew down to Chennai to meet Karunanidhi, to request him and a DMK to join the alliance. Not to stop this, to join the alliance despite those statements. Number 3, on the floor of Parliament, the kind of language Naresh Agarwal ji used for Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Lord Ram, Arun Jaitley ji got up and said this man, if he was not in Parliament, should be prosecuted under 153 and 295A. Akhilesh Yadav kicked him out of the party. The BJP not just embraced him, his son is a proud member of the BJP. As of yesterday, Rajbar ji, not just Rajbar ji, the others, Nishad ji, the kind of language he used about Lord Ram's father, is a proud member and minister in the BJP. The BJP is a party of hypocrites. Mahesh Sharma, what he said when the Honorable Prime Minister was sitting about Ma Sita, if that's not should be rebuffed, about the Ram Setu, for which the Congress often gets plagued, that Jitendra Singh was asked in Parliament in Rajya Sabha, what is the stand of the BJP on the Ram Setu? Because Supreme Court asked it in writing. You know what Tushar Mehta says? He's not given an affidavit, and Jitendra Singh gets up in Parliament and says, we don't know, we have no images of Ram Setu, we don't know about this. This is the BJP's hypocrisy. The BJP is no guardians of anybody, and like you rightly pointed out, they are nowhere in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, where Hindu population is most. But yes, there is a problem. There is a problem of hate speech, and I'll tell you where the BJP sort of wins on this politically, because morally it's wrong even politically. Ajay Alok Bhai just now said the population of Hindus, despite everything, is about 81%, and he's absolutely right. That is the 2011 census. He also said that the BJP came into power prominently in 1992. So I quickly looked up the 81 census and the 1991 census. The population of Hindus is roughly 81.64, 81.53. It's roughly been the same. Hindus don't need the BJP. The BJP makes Hinduism an issue to gain political advantage. Anand, I'll end by asking one question on this Pies Day. If religion or culture was under threat, if it was, why isn't Jai Shah or Himanta Biswa Sharma's kids or Shivraj Singh Chauhan's kids on the street protecting religion or culture? Why isn't Oaisi's kids on the street protecting religion or culture? Why isn't Stalin on the streets protecting his political ideology? All of them go to foreign universities. All of them get good jobs or go to the best places or get political posts or BCCI posts. None of them on the streets. On the streets are the poor kids, because this is a divisive agenda and the BJP is a master at it. Only that the DMK does the same thing in Tamil Nadu what the BJP does nationally.
Ajay Alok ji, quick response before I bring in Neeraj Atri and then go back to Dushyant Sridhar ji.
See, first of all, I said it in my introduction only that Hindu does not need anyone's protection. They are sufficient within themselves, and BJP does not claim to be a protector of the whole Hindu religion. But yes, we are proud Hindu, and we will proudly display that. We are not Hindus like Jawaharlal Nehru, who in his own book has written that I feel depressed when I visit temples of South. All these things started, it has a pattern to demean the Hinduism and to glorify the Muslims, to glorify the minorities. What we had seen in Shahbano case, what we have seen the Prime Minister saying, देश के संसाधनों पर पहला हक अल्पसंख्यकों का होना चाहिए. All these things has been a pattern. Now what we did once we came to the power for the last years, we have just enforced that there should be no appeasement. We will carry the nation together. We are not carrying only Hindus. If we are doing this Labharti Yojana, 33% of the Labharti Yojana are going to Muslims. When I say that yes, this time I am going to get more than 30% of minority votes, this we say because of our work, not because of the divisive nature. We never had the divisive nature. You want to keep country united, we want to keep country united. We don't say Pakistan Zindabad when our MP gets elected in Karnataka and then Rahul Gandhi and people like you keep mum. No action taken against. We don't cry when some terrorist is killed in an encounter. None of my leaders has cried. I don't think, Tehseen, you will also cry. But all these things we have seen from the Congress. This is the division of the country, not what the BJP does. For every member of BJP, nations come first, party second. And for you, the family comes first, nation comes second. This is the difference.
Neeraj Atri, thank you for your patience. Before we go back to the political fight, is this all politics or is there a deeper design for it? And why are only certain netas and certain factions standing ahead and doing it? One of the aspects is that some of these netas are qualified non-Hindus now, proclaimed, self-declared. And then they are passing this judgment or these statements. What does that mean then?
Anand, thanks for inviting me over here, and a very good evening to all the fellow panelists. When you raised the question initially, you were talking about whether there is a design in it or the opposition is inherently anti-Hindu. I would say that both of these factors are present within the opposition. If you remember, they were going to bring a prevention of communal and targeted violence bill in 2011-2012. The intent of that bill was to just decimate the Hindu population. So that was just one instance where anti-Hindu legislation was being formulated. But we have a very long string of anti-Hindu legislations in our country, like Waqf Act, like Places of Worship Act. If you look at all
HRCE Act, yeah.
HRCE Act, yes. There is a plethora of these. If you add up all those, you can notice that there has been a design in it, the word which was used by Ajay Alok, that there is a continuous design, a continuous pattern which is anti-Hindu, which smacks of anti-Hinduism. Now, secondly, when we come to the design in all these statements which are being made, those statements, they are testing the waters. And in fact, I was just reminded of a very famous movie. What happens is just a small clip that the villain is trying to woo a woman. He's already married and he's hiding it. And when the lady comes to know that he's already married and is just trying to get her into his bed, she says that now I know that you're married, I won't come. Then he says, okay, मैं भी शराफत की एक्टिंग करते करते थक गया था, तो अब तो मैं तुझे उठा के ले जाऊंगा. So that is what is happening with Congress and all its allies, that they have now thrown off their burqa which they were wearing. And now
I'm sorry, I object to this language. I'm sorry.
No,
I just object to this language.
Sorry, Anand, this is not that.
I'm sorry, Anand. I object to this. You cannot be.
I also object.
This kind of on your show.
Okay.
I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, Neeraj, why, but I object.
Let's let Mr. Neeraj. No, one minute. Let Mr. Neeraj
forcefully.
No. 1 minute. He's given a reference to a scene, and now he's saying that the opposition has thrown off its cloak. It's thrown off its veil and it's dropped its veil or dropped its facade. Okay, let's put it like that. Yes, and let's rephrase it like that going forward. Rather than attaching any religious color or this to it, let's say the opposition is just dropped this cloak all its mark.
You don't need to put this.
Their pretense, like we can do that.
Yes, Neeraj, please continue. Yeah, please rephrase and continue.
Yeah, just remember now when Mr. Khadge said that Sanatana Dharma spreads division. Before that, the senior Khadge was in the parliament when he said that you Aryans have come from outside. Now, this is such a shocking and divisive statement, something which has been thoroughly disproven by all the academic research which has gone into last 100 or 150 years. Still, this person had the gall to stand in the parliament and make such a divisive statement. So what I'm trying to say is that this is not something which they have cooked up in last few months. They've been building up this anti-Hindu narrative for a very, very long time, and the culmination is something which we are seeing right now, that they have just taken off that facade. I'll use this milder word, taken off the facade now. And that is what we are exactly seeing. And then somebody said that we should not be insulting any religion. We should not be insulting any gods. The problem here is that this is again a very false equivalence. When we have religions which are inherently anti-Hindu, they have declared objectives that we are going to convert the entire world into Darul Islam or into Kingdom of God, and they create divisions, the divisions in which the entire humanity is divided into two hostile groups. One is a Mu'min, the other is a Kafir. One is a believer, the other is an infidel. This has been going for such a long time, and under this facade of secularism, we keep on saying that we are not going to insult the religion, and still they keep on insulting only Hinduism repeatedly. And each and every faction of this alliance has been guilty of doing that.
So you're saying that there's some amount of plain speak there by Neeraj Atri and certain perspectives that he has put there. Dushyant Sridhar, agree, disagree before Tehseen Poonawalla and Sumant Raman jump in. The other aspect, Dushyant Sridhar, please comment and then I'll come back. There's another follow-up question. Yeah.
Namaskaram again. So I just have one point to make, Anand, very quickly. So there were two instances in the last 1.5 years. There was a spokesperson of a certain party who did make some comments against a religion. The religion was Islam, and it was, though she may have quoted from the scripture, a lot of the Muslims, a lot of the political parties in many countries also expressed their regret, stating that this was not allowed. Now, at that point in time, a lot of them came up and said that the Muslims feel hurt. This is wrong. On the other hand, in the last 6 months, there have been time and again repeated obnoxious statements made against Sanatana Dharma. At that point in time, the same parties tried to keep mum, and the reasoning given in the general media was they are worried if the minorities will feel hurt. My question is, if a statement is made against Islam, the Muslims feel hurt, so the Muslim votes get consolidated. If the statement is made against Sanatana Dharma, again, if someone supports Sanatana Dharma and says you should not hurt, again Muslims will feel hurt. So aren't they taking an ordinary Muslim's feelings for granted? Why will a Muslim feel so elated when Sanatana Dharma is being abused? If that is the reasoning given, aren't we in a way trying to taboo the minorities? So I honestly feel if a religion is targeted, which should not be, I feel there should be some strong condemnation and some serious law that takes care of it. So enough is enough. And to another point that people are just concerned about unemployment, bread and butter and all of that. See, trust me, even after 100 years, there will be an unemployment issue. You will never have one particular stage in India where everybody is employed. That's not possible in any country. The variations could be there between 10%, 8% and so on. So a mistake is a mistake. And finally, your question, somebody said there are so many temples in the state of Tamil Nadu and so on and so forth. See, the point is, the kings who constructed the temples in the south of India were Hindutvavadis. If you look into the inscriptions given by Rajaraja Chola, the kind of yagams that he performed from Hiranyagarbham to the inscriptions that we have and to the Vijayanagara people, those people who claim to follow Hindutva should actually learn from them. Those kings were extremely Hindutva based. So that's how we have seen kings. So today, to compare that we have so many temples, yet people are choosing, it is so educated and so on and so forth, doesn't hold much water.
Another question here is that if you look at it, the last 5 decades that Sumant Raman spoke about in Tamil Nadu specifically, at the time of E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakar, it was Shiva, Vel and Shakti who were abused along with Ram and Sita. Now, is there a clear dissection there where it is only Ram? Ram bashing is happening, not Shiva, Muruga, Shakti. Because a large consolidation or grouping of the so-called Dravidian parties are still Shiva Bhaktas, Amman Bhaktas, or worshippers of Murugan. But Ram is seen as an outsider. Ram is seen as the Brahmin, Vaishnav groups. Is there a reasoning here, and is there something specific there too?
Okay, so with respect to whether the pattern was different in the past and the pattern is different now, no, it's all the same pattern. So in 1970, Rama was garlanded with a chappal mala, Sita was called by different names, Ayyappan, who is of course a deity of the south, was extremely ridiculed, and just 3 years back, there were obnoxious comments made about Muruga or Kartikeya in the very state of Tamil Nadu. So I feel they have been very, very justful and impartial in dealing with all the devatas of Sanatana Dharma. And one more thing, you did ask if they consider Rama and Krishna as Vaishnava deities. In fact, outside the very house of Sri Karunanidhi is a temple of Krishna, and the very place is called Gopalapuram. And second is Jagat Rakshakan, who was an erstwhile minister, has a grouping called Alvargal Aivu Mayam. I have spoken on that forum many, many times. And he has written a book on the Nalayara Divya Prabandham that venerates the Alvars. So I feel they are a party of full contradictions, where we have people from the very first family visit temple after temple, and they have Brahmin priests in their family. So it's full of contradictions. And in the yatra that Sri Rahul Gandhi began, which Sri Tehsin should make note of, the very first place from Kanyakumari when he started, Ponnaiya said, Jesus is the true God and Shakti, who's Mariamman, is not the true God. And Rahul Gandhi was very patiently listening. See, if a person says in Rahul Gandhi's absence, we cannot blame Rahul Gandhi. But he was telling Rahul Gandhi that Shakti or Mariamman is not the true God.
No, and this Ponnaiya is somebody who's been repeatedly taken to court, admonished by courts, and he's had a series of cases against him, correct me if I'm wrong, Sumant Raman, for making and running this entire, he's alleged to have a far more bigger motive to the comments that he makes. 1 minute, Dushan Sridhar just wanted another 10 seconds and then to the others.
Sumant, sorry, I'll just take 2 seconds. See, when something which they couldn't digest or probably they felt was wrong on this panel, immediately Tehsin and Sumant said, no, this is not the thing to be said. When Rahul Gandhi was told that Shakti is not the true God and Jesus is the only God, shouldn't he have told, see, don't say such things, there are people who believe in Shakti? The same thought and emotion that Tehsin and Sumant had, raising their fingers, shouldn't he have raised? How can we even justify that statement that Shakti is not the true God? This is what I'm saying is wrong. See, till now I've spoken as a Vedic scholar. Did I bring up the deity or the practice of any other religion? Did I?
You did.
As a philosopher, I don't. That's not what my religion tells me. So if somebody says, if something is wrong, immediately people raise their hands. Why didn't Rahul Gandhi say, don't talk about gods. I'm here only to bring up justice to people. We are not here to discuss religion. He was lending his ears. So what do you expect?
Anand.
Okay, Sumant Raman and then Tehsin Poonawalla, and then I'll come to you, Ajay.
Just 2 points, Anand, that I want to make. One, Hinduism is believed to be the oldest, or at least certainly one of the oldest religions in the world. It has survived centuries and centuries without the need for people to, people like we are having today to protect the faith by, taking on those from other faiths. That is how, in fact, Bharat as we know it has been under occupation and has been ruled by people of other faiths for centuries. We know that Hinduism survived that. Hinduism is flourishing. So this entire construct of Hindu Khatre Mein Hai is a political construct more than anything else. They said, okay, India will no longer be a Hindu majority country. The census data doesn't bear that out at all. But we have to create that because
wait. Let him say and then counter him, Neeraj.
So Anand, the need for an enemy is there, a need for an other. Now, for the DMK in Tamil Nadu, that enemy is the Brahmin. So the Brahmin is demonized. Every day there will be somebody abusing the Brahmin, abusing Vedic religion and so on. And Dushyant knows that very well. So they're basically two sides of the same coin. Your enemies are different. But ideologically, the concept is you need an enemy to grow your faith. You need to tell your own people, your flock, that you are under threat. Otherwise, you will all be, outnumbered. This will happen to you, that will happen to you. So therefore, you need that enemy. Second point, BJP has been in power, to the best of my knowledge, with the center for 10 years now. In the last 30 years, the BJP has been in power for 16 years, sir. The Congress has been in power for 12 years. Please go back and check it out. 16 years you have been in power. How many of these acts of government control over Hindu religious places has the BJP lifted or removed? Please ask Mr. Dushyant to tell me, or Ajay Alok to say, look, in Uttarakhand, they actually passed a law taking over some temples. So what are we talking about? That is why this is rhetoric. You please tell me in Tamil Nadu,
one minute, please heed.
Last point, 10 seconds. 10 seconds on.
Okay.
Tamil Nadu HRNC Act. The BJP goes to town in Tamil Nadu campaigning. Temples must be freed from government protection. Who's in power in Delhi, for God's sake? So do we tell them one day BJP will come to power in Delhi and they will free the temples? 10 years, what action has been taken? You tell me.
Okay. The HRNC Act, sir, is a state-bound law, so each state has to do it. So you can ask the BJP what did they do in Karnataka. One minute. You don't need to get some more extra. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. An act of parliament, the moment it was overwritten for the larger good with respect to CAA 2019, we know what happened and what other people are saying and what people are saying across the country. I'm saying BJP was in power in Karnataka. The same Endowment Act is there also, and it was not done. It was not removed. It was actually enforced. The amendment was not, or neither was this act scrapped. But 1 minute. Yes, Neeraj Atri, you wanted to respond to Sumant Raman, then Ajay Alok and Tehseen Poonawalla. I'll come to all of you. We've got 6 minutes, so we'll distribute it across. Yes, Neeraj Atri.
See, when he was saying that Hinduism is not under threat, this is a false notion. He's absolutely wrong, because if we look historically, the geographical land under Hinduism has been shrinking for last few centuries, number one. Number two, the number of Hindus has been constantly decreasing throughout the world, especially in India. If you look at the census reports, in 1947, the census said that the population of Muslims was 9.78%, and now 77 decades down the road, the population officially is 14.6%. A huge jump of many crores of Muslims. Add to that crypto-Christians, add to that Christians, you will find out that Hinduism has been constantly decreasing because there are ideologies present which were not present thousands of years ago, which are predatory in nature. They thrive, they survive on converting others. So trying to tell us that Hinduism is not under threat is a very insidious way of befooling Hindus. This is the line which has been constantly peddled by those who are trying to say that this is a bogey, which actually is not. The statistics are very clear that Hinduism is under very severe threat, geographically also and demographically also. So, and the second point is that this, again, there is a constant design over here that it has been done with the help of legislations. And I agree with Sumant when he says that it is not only Congress who is culprit. BJP could have removed, but that is a political debate. I won't go into the questions of that.
Right. Thank you for that point. And now, in terms of sacrifice of Hindus, sir, the entire Hindu Kush itself has been deemed thus because it was overflowing with the blood of Hindus. And Hindu Kush itself means culling of Hindus. The other aspect is, sir, that crores of Hindus have given their life in protecting the various deities and also transporting them from one place to the other so that these deities continue to remain preserved. Some have jumped into wells and those are now being deemed fountains by others, and it's still under litigation. There are crores and crores of Hindus, and it is chronicled, sir, a number of people who have lost their lives and who have sacrificed so that this way of life could continue to survive and thrive over centuries of invasion and, of course, infusion of foreign ideologies or foreign thought processes. So that's a very loose statement to make, that the Hindus have not sacrificed and neither they have not fought like they're wanting to fight now. But Ajay Alok ji, the point that's come. Okay, Ajay Alok, I'll give you the final word. Let Tehseen make his point, so then you can collate everything and respond collectively. And so that I'll give you the final word. Yes, Tehseen Poonawalla.
Okay. Okay, so 2 or 3 points. Let's just get some facts correct. Again, with a lot of respect for Mr. Neeraj Jatri, the 1951 census did not involve Jammu and Kashmir, did not involve Assam, did not involve West Bengal. First fact. Therefore, 9.8%. 1947. 9.7. 1947, when India was partitioned, Hindus were 73%. But the fact that on a national TV, this is what we're debating, shows that we want to take the debate. They went consistently, the Hindu population has been about 81%, as Ajay is also. That's not the issue right now. Now, Dushyant Bhai is absolutely right. That look, why should the reaction only be for one religion? And both Sumant and I are saying that. We are saying, why should it only be for Islam? Everyone should be questioned and should be questioned with decency. The only way to progress is to question every belief, but every belief must be questioned, not the Hindu belief. In fact, in this country, if any belief allows itself to be questioned without fear or favor, is the Hindu belief. Okay. So we must question everything. And I agree that Nupur Sharma was completely harrowed, and it is people like Sumant and you stood up for her. It is wrong what was done. But that does not justify bigotry. Now, I'll give you another example. Suman told you about 16 years of BJP rule. Let me tell you. Neeraj Bhai spoke about the 2011 communal violence bill. One, either you're pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. A bill that does not come cannot be the bill. But since he spoke about the intention of the bill, let me read out from the bill, because this is often put up to mislead people. The bill never uses the word Hindu or Muslim. The bill does not use the word. It uses the word majority or minority, but it defines majority. And allow me to, and this is where I'll end. Suman C. Raman, being a Hindu, could be a linguistic minority in Delhi if he does not know how to speak Hindu, whereas somebody like Ajay ji, who does not speak Kannada, does not speak Tamil, could be a linguistic minority in Tamil Nadu. It speaks about protecting minorities from every angle, including sexual minorities. Please, let's not make
trying
this
to get into please one minute. I would like to pause there. The places, 1 minute. The Places of Worship Act also does not explicitly, 1 minute. The Places of Worship Act 1991 also does not explicitly mention any religious site, but you know exactly what its intent was. Sir, so in terms of the draft of this communal bill also was wholly communal in nature, sir, and there was nothing secular about it.
No,
that's a different argument for another day, sir, because our constitution itself does not very clearly define majority and minority, so that's why everything is then broad brushed and put into the grey zone. Final 1 minute. Tehseen, please yield. I've got only 90 seconds, and please allow me to give that to Mr. Ajay Alok. He's been very patient. Tehseen, please yield. Okay, Ajay Alok.
Intellectual diversion of facts does not speak truth, Tehseen. What the bill was, everyone knows, the whole country knows. Now here what I'm talking about. Few days back, we heard a call that Gazba-e-Hind ka fatwa jari kiya Devband ne. What was that? Can we do something? Full Hindu Rashtra ka koi ek Shankaracharya jari kar de ki Hindustan ban jayega? But they can do a Gazba-e-Hind from Devband. Actions are being taken by the UP government. Now Punia, my friend was mentioning about Punia, George Punia. He said that only Jesus can be heard, and Rahul Gandhi was listening. Why didn't he object? Why will he object? Because he is not a Hindu. Why will he object? He has no business to object. Now we have people like Karnataka State Congress President who says Hinduism is a dirt. During that yatra only, we have heard so many voices. And when my friend says that Hindu khatre mein hai, Hindu religion khatre mein hai, the demography has been changing, my dear friend. We have seen Bengal after independence. The Muslim population of 12% today is 35%. Where are you living? In Bihar. I can see all the Simanchal, where Bangladeshis and everybody is intruding. Right now we have seen 18,000 madrasas are being funded from Arab in Uttar Pradesh where actions are being taken. Where it's going? The demography is changing. लेकिन तभी भी कोई हिंदू ये नहीं कहता कि हिंदू खतरे में है. But the second moment you will hear the नारा तकबीर अल्लाह अकबर, इस्लाम खतरे में. This is to incite the community, which we are trying to stop, that this shouldn't happen. And conversion shouldn't happen. And
Right.
what is the character of the Congress party? The moment it comes to the power in Karnataka, this changes the law what we have imposed about conversion. That the real strict action should be taken on forced conversion or for after luring conversion. All laws have been scrapped. Why? Whom to please to? Special subsidies being given to minority. Muslims, I again say, not minority, Muslims.
What subsidies? Special?
Ideally, Muslims
If you
shouldn't
could
be
just-
a minority
if you could
here.
tell me-
Almost around 18 to 20
If you could
crores.
tell me which
How can they be
subsidy, I would
minority?
be glad to.
But nobody
Could you
questions
please tell me
this.
which one?
No,
Could you please
what
tell
are
me
the
which subsidy to Muslims? Which one? Could
The
you please tell
subsidies
me? I would- I'd
on
like to
buying
know.
car. If you buy a 4 lakh rupees
No,
car,
sir,
government
you're
will give
wrong
you
on that.
subsidy.
That's a
Karnataka
fake
government
news
policy
busted by
says
CNN News
go and
18.
read it.
No, sir, you're wrong on that.
That's not a fake
I knew
news.
you would say that. It is,
That's
sir.
not a fake news.
I'll tell
Then
you
they
what,
said that it was from earlier also.
after having
not true.
48
The constant patronization and the
nearly
constant
48
appeasement
minutes
has
of a
led to
very, very sane conversation where everybody put forth their point of view. The final 90 seconds need not be who can shout over the other gentleman. Let us not do that. My simple,
on Mashif Bratri.
my
They have spent more time talking about Islam than about Hinduism. I
Sir-
rest my case there.
Sir, my point is you are more interested and jumped when a comment was
Because
made
you love
which
to
was,
hear
which
about
was
Islam,
referring
not
to Islam,
Hinduism.
but
Your
you did
case
not
should
take
rest
any
there.
point, and you did not take any umbrage
at all.
when all along in the
did.
state of Tamil Nadu, the Sanatana Dharma and Ram have been bashed for
Anand,
50 years. For 50 years, for 50 years this bashing happens. 50 years this bashing happens. It's all right. Have you taken Mr. Andimuthu Raja to court, Mr. Suman Siraman? Have you gone ahead and personally said that he's made no. Have you asked? Have you moved a petition that the government of Tamil Nadu should remove Mr. Andimuthu Raja from any position and bar him from the party for the points that position? You have not done so, sir. But had it been Mr. Neeraj Atri or somebody else, even an Annamalai or somebody else would have said something against Islam or Christianity, then there would have been 20 people like Mr. Suman Siraman would have taken them to court and said bar them from any public appearances, etc. Anyways, gentlemen, we started in harmony. Let's not end in acrimony and cacophony. So I'm going to thank you on that note. Thank you very